Well, thank you. I was really eager to see that update from the Advancing Haiku group. Normally I'd have more from them in this update, but it'd be a bit redundant. They did it much better than I could. So I'm Kevin Kochansky. I'm client liaison at softwareservicesbyscientists.com. That is formerly now Chait. So you'll get to hearing us, and we use shorthand as SoftServe as well. So let me move forward. I am chair of the Hyku interest group, which doesn't mean I'm powerful. It just means I coordinate information. So I'm going to share some of that information back with you today. We have a healthy number of people here, so I'm going to assume that at least a few of you are new to the community, and if so, welcome. I'll very briefly explain that Hyku is a Samvera solution bundle. It's based on the Hyrax engine, and it takes components of Samvera and creates a turnkey application, which you've just heard quite a bit about, so hopefully you're a little acquainted at this point. It inherits everything from Hyrax since it's based on Hyrax, but it has some unique features, including multi-tenancy, some UI theming templates and other options, pre-built work types, bulk import and export pre-installed, and more built-in user management options, among other features. Some general updates as part of the Hyku interest group. We're grateful to have a pretty active community. So we get updates monthly from all of these projects listed here, which you'll hear a little bit more about individually. We'll tend to talk about roadmap and make sure we're aligned and not working at odds with each other. We've done a great job of sharing features back and forth. We'll get updates on Hyku releases and technical updates that come from the Hyku dev call, which also happens once a month. The interest group is more user focused and the dev call is more technically focused. We always welcome newcomers. You can just sit back and listen. You can ask questions. It's a really welcoming environment, like most things in the Samvera community, fortunately. And that is on Zoom the last Thursday of each month. Hyku 4.0 release is imminent, and we have overhauled the way local development and deployment is done. Docker and Helm setup has been consolidated to match the Hyrax format, so that aligns the community support around that better. Settings and environment variables are also better aligned with Hyrax, and there's been numerous bug fixes and some great features. Featured collections and uploadable collection thumbnails are now an option. That is to feature collections on our homepage. Cross-tenant search via a search-only tenant has been implemented. And support for multiple domain names is now provided. There's the ability to make individual tenants private, which is a variety of uses. And the theming options now include 3 custom homepage themes, 2 custom show page themes, and 2 search result themes. I had a slide about featured collections until I realized that Summer Cook is going to tell us all about that in just a little bit. So stay tuned till after the next break because there's nothing to see here. Bulk racks is always kind of part of the conversation with Hyku, since a lot of the bulk racks development is done in the Hyku world. This is a UI that allows you to create, edit, delete, run, and rerun imports. It's optional now behind a feature flipper since the last major Hyku release. Bulk rack supports CSV, OAI, PMH, XML, Baget, and an ever-growing list of formats. Work on it is continuing by SoftServe with GDH, UCSC, and University of Louisville. And 3.0 is in beta for imminent release, which includes the ability to import collections and file sets with metadata. I am going to interrupt and ask folks, we are pulling together a bulk racks interest group. We're happy that bulk racks is in a place where it's getting adoption outside of softwareservicesbyscientists.com and our clients. We want to make sure that this is a larger community conversation and that maintenance and development and roadmap items are aligned. So to get an interest group growing in Samvera land, we have to have names from at least 3 institutions or organizations on that charter. So please reach out to me on Samvera Slack or email me and let me know if you are interested in putting your name on that charter. Couple major grant projects. We just heard a great presentation about advancing Hyku, so thank you for that. That, of course, was a collaboration between British Library, Ubiquity Press, University of Virginia, and the Acadia Charitable Fund. the best place to continue to get information for that is advancinghyku.io. Hyku for Consortia is working with SoftServe. Palni and Palsy lead that, the library consortia, and they're currently running Hyku Commons as a multi-tenant repository service with an adaptable operational model. It's nearly doubled the amount of tenants since the update in Samvera Connect 21. They now have 13 tenants in production and 34 in pilot or test. And their goals are developing a robust user community across the 4 consortia that are now participating. And this includes Basecamp collaboration platforms, training sessions, monthly user group meetings, and they're working on a progress for collaborative feature prioritization. They were awarded their IMLS grant, Hyku for Consortia, removing barriers to adoption, and user research to plan that work is underway. They've kickstarted development with work types and work type updates and UI enhancements, and the first major development sprint is happening now with SoftServe, and we're focusing on import and export improvements. Next up, they will be looking to dig into flexible metadata and analytics work improvements. They're continuing to refine a process to deal with bugs and maintenance issues, and they plan to share a draft of their operational model later this year. Other projects in development, I'll try to keep it fairly high level and move along, but University of Louisville has their digital collections, and they are now live in beta, and there's a link. They have, at least as of a week ago, about 20% of their content successfully migrated into Hyku. SoftServe has been working with them to adapt the Hyrax newspaper gem to allow imports of complex compound objects. Ubiquity Press, as you know, they've been focusing on wrapping and contributing advancing Hyku grant work back. This and other work they've been working on includes batch auto population through unpaywall and crossref, in-browser display of PDFs and annotation through Hypothesis, added the sync between Hyku author profiles and ORCID, Opera metrics for views and downloads, introduction of schema for main metadata fields looking towards the implementation of Allen's and Flex for flexible metadata, and bulk DOI minting utilizing bulk racks. National Transportation Library 3.0 is from the US Department of Transportation's Bureau of Transportation Statistics. We have had this, we've heard a bit about this for a couple years now. I'm really excited that stakeholders have started joining the interest group, so we're getting a lot of traction around this project. They have brought the application into their own servers and are currently undergoing security audits and other fun government processes. But just last week, SoftServe helped them complete the final migration of data, and now they are undergoing user testing on their own staging environment. And feedback from that process is going to hopefully inform a future phase that will help to get this application public. The Shared Research Library with CoSector, British Library, and SoftServe continues development. They've had a lot of exciting things going on. This includes that they've upgraded to the latest Hyku and have achieved parity. DOI integration is live with the latest bulk racks implementation installed as well. Cross-tenant search is live, and migration, they're currently undertaking a migration to a new server infrastructure. And some of the AHRC funded developments that they've implemented include the ability to add the feature collections, which we'll hear more about shortly from summer. The theming template for BL shared service tenants, and enhancements to collections metadata and shared search UX. Another project in the community is the Adventist Digital Library. This is currently mostly in a maintenance mode as they wait to plan a new phase of work. So we'll look hopefully to have some exciting updates for that at Samvera Connect. And the Washington University in St. Louis Newman Numismatic Portal has overcome a lot of barriers with refining OCR and content ingests. Now we're happy to say that we're over halfway through upload of over 300,000 digital objects. And that includes a number of very high-res catalogs from Internet Archive, and that required a lot of performance optimization to get that working. Cantaloupe image server is going to be made as a standard option in Hyku out of this. Couple service solutions out there, U repositories by Ubiquity Press and SoftServe's Hyku Up are still in the landscape. And thank you. I'd love you to follow Hyku, join us. We have our own channel in Samvera Slack. Hyku.samvera.org is an informational site where whenever people speak at conferences, we try to get that site updated with links out to those presentations. And that's not just Connect, but that's open repositories and other forums. We do have our own Google list, and here's information for the interest group. It's 8:30 Pacific, the last Thursday of each month. And the developer call is the second Thursday of the month at 9 o'clock Pacific. And thank you very much.